so you two golf-loving guys can chase or fade a few bets ahead of this weekend's Genesis Invitational. Host of this tournament, Tiger Woods, is plus 1,600 to win and just plus 200 to get into the top 10. Chase or fade, you're confident Big Cat will have a top 10 finish. And like we mentioned yesterday here, Reid, he's never won here.
Yeah, I mean, confidence in golf is something that, you can't really go into quite a bit. But yeah, I'm confident that he gets this top 10. Look, we talk about the stat, right, that he hasn't won here over the last 11 to 13 appearances, whatever stat that you want to use, dating back to the early 90s. But he's got a lot of top 10s and runner-ups here. Like, he lost to Billy Mayfair in 98 in the playoff, I believe it was. And then he's had performances that he's done well here. Like, he got a 15th last year, and now he's coming in with probably some of his best form early in the year. We usually don't see him. He plays the Farmers, and then we don't see him until Honda or until the Florida Swing. But now, with the President's Cup, with him winning the Zozo Championship, if you want to attack them, and honestly, we talked about it, right, that number and the outright is nice, I would just go there as opposed to just getting this plus 200 to make the top 10, even though there's a good shot that he makes it. This field is strong, but I'm going to chase that he's going to make the top 10 and even be in contention to win here.
Geoff, you chasing he's a top 10?
Oh, yeah. No, look, I really feel like people are overlooking Tiger this week. It's like Reid said. I mean, okay, he hasn't won here. It's not like he hasn't played well at the course. The dude shot 65 in round 3 last year in terrible conditions. I mean, he hadn't had to play 36 holes in one day. He might have actually come from behind last year. I love Tiger this week, man. Everyone's talking up Dustin Johnson and his great course history here. Like, I'm sorry, but Tiger Woods has been perhaps the best player in the world since last fall. Came in, dominated in Japan, looked like the best player at the President's Cup, and then he played fantastic at the Farmers, and he probably would have been like up there in strokes gained tee to green. His ball didn't jump out of the hole on his eagle attempt. So, yeah, I love Tiger Woods this week. I think people are really going to overlook him because, he hasn't won here in his career. He really hasn't played here that much, especially over the last 10 years. He just started skipping this event, and now his management company and charity runs it. He's going to play it every year. I absolutely love Tiger. I think he's definitely got this on his list of things he wants to do. And, of course, he wants to win at before he ends. I think this is a fantastic opportunity for him to do it. I'm all over Tiger. I'm betting him outright, and I'm playing him in DK a lot. So, yeah, give me Tiger.
There we go.
Oh, yeah. Well, Geoff, here's a good one for you. Chase or fade, Reid will take Tony Finau this weekend, regardless of what his odds are to win, which are plus 2,000.
I mean, Reid would roster Finau if he dropped out. He'd just take the WD
Yes.
at 0 points. So, obviously, I'm chasing this. Look, I mean, Finau let's just talk serious for a sec. I mean, look, Finau is 9,100. Everyone knows he's been in great form lately. Everyone remembers him paying off at the Phoenix Open when most people, quite frankly, wanted to fade him. Now he comes to Riviera, where he's actually played well at in the past. And, he was runner-up here a couple years ago. I think he was like T15 last year or something. He's going to be really popular. That's the only problem I see with Tony Finau. His form is great. He's improved his around the green game, it looks like, although that could regress at any point. I mean, let's be honest. His putting and short game it goes up and down, right? Now, he has looked good in that aspect. For me, I'm definitely going to fade him in GPP lineups because I think he's going to be a top 3 player owned. It's got nothing to do with form or anything. It's a pure ownership play. Cash games, you should probably just lock him in because, quite frankly, the price it's just too good to ignore.
Okay, Reid, chase or fade that you are chasing Tony Finau.
Does a bear what in the woods, Emerson? Come on.
Is it a bear or the Pope?
No, it's the bear. It's
Okay.
clearly the bear.
The 2 popes.
Wow, ooh, good one. I like that. And good job, Geoff. I was following you on Twitter there with your picks, and congratulations to Parasite.
Oh, yeah. I'm an Oscar. When's the Oscar segment? I guess not till next week.
Hey, come on.
Yeah, we're going to have to wait a little bit for that one, buddy.
We will. But look, of course you're gonna chase. If you're gonna chase Tony Finau, it's only a matter of time, and I get it, right? The sentiment out there is he's never gonna win, and we saw him collapse, really, because that's what it was at the Waste Management. He had that lead, going in, and then when I can't remember who the guy that actually won that tournament came in and hit it in the water. Like, it was his tournament to win, and now we get him on the course. Like, he fits the mold of what you want to do well at this course. You want to hit the ball far. You want to be able to putt. And over the last 8 rounds, he's 6th in putting strokes gained. In this field, he's 2nd over the last 4 rounds. And so his form on the green, which is always which has been his Achilles heel, is in form. But if you just look at both like DK, like Geoff mentioned, his pricing is fantastic. On the betting side of it, That's tough, right? It's tough because we have Brooks. We talked about him. We have Brooks. That's a good number. I mean, Justin Rose, who we'll get to in a little bit, is at a good number. So it's tempting. And if you can get him in some places in the high 20s, like plus 2,800, plus 3,000, that's a little bit better on DK Sportsbook. It's at plus 2,200. That's just the value, especially with a guy like Brooks right there, is going to be tough. But absolutely on DK, you gotta roster my boy Team Fino.
Yeah, kind of knew you were going to say that. Justin Rose is plus 4,000 to hoist the trophy. Chase your fade. He should actually have better odds heading into this weekend, Reid.
I'm going to fade he should have better. Like, this started, so when we looked at these odds at the beginning, I believe it was on Monday, he was at plus 5,000. It's already been bet down. And last night I saw it, I think it was at plus 4,300. So this has been teetering, and a lot of people look. I mean, I'm going to fade the reason that it should be better because, like, he just hasn't played in so long. We haven't seen him on tour, on the PGA Tour in so long, and he hasn't played at this tournament, I believe, over the last 2 years. And so, current form goes so much into these algorithms to get these odds out. It's just not there, right? We haven't seen him. And so, no, I'm not gonna chase that it should be better. But a guy like Justin Rose, that's a leverage that you want because he's a guy that you don't necessarily need to see everything come into form before he can rattle off. And this is what we've seen from him in years past, where we've seen him win in these tournaments where he hasn't played and he shows up in his first tournament and he's in great form, even with a new club, even with new clubs in his bag. So I'm going to fade that it should be better, but on DraftKings, absolutely chasing Justin Rose because of that sentiment that we just haven't seen him, and so the ownership should be lower.
Geoff, what do you think? Should he have better odds? I mean, just 2 top 10s here in 11 trips.
Yeah, but he's been really consistent at this course. I mean, I would fade that he should have better odds. I would actually think he should probably be closer to like plus 3,500 or 3,300. I guess it's pretty good value for Justin Rose if you want to take a shot. He's not necessarily going to be a guy I go on because I think his recent form is, I wouldn't say concerning, but it's not like fantastic. Now, look, we're talking like some mega small sample, 2 tournaments, basically, 1 missed cut at the Farmers. Rose has come in, missed the cut of the Farmers before and been absolutely fine for the rest of the year, so it's not something to worry about. He should set up well for this course. I mean, he's never won here, really. He's kind of challenged a couple times, but like I said, he's been pretty consistent at this event. So I'm looking at Justin Rose more as just a pure DraftKings play, 8,500. He almost fits that same phenom mold of he's just too cheap. He's going to be a great cash game target, quite frankly, if you need some value in the upper tier, you just want to go balanced. Justin Rose is not someone I'm looking to bet. I just feel like, you can go up to plus 5,500 and get guys like Spieth, who's coming off a great week. You can get Paul Casey. You can even go Sergio Garcia at a way better price. So I'm looking for, guys at bigger odds. But this is, if you can get plus 4,000 and you do like Justin Rose and you just think I'm an idiot, it's probably a pretty good bet.
Hey, Geoff, Phil Mickelson plus 163 to miss the cut this weekend. Chaser Fady does just that.
Oh, yeah, this one it's kind of interesting. Phil he sets up well for this course. Like, Riviera sets up well for lefties. That's part of the reason why Bubba Watson likes this course. It's just easy for them to move the ball. Phil's a creative player. I know his approach game was not good last week. He was saved by his short game, but I still would fade this. Phil at Riviera, it's not quite like as good as Phil at Pebble Beach, but he does like this venue. That's why he's playing here. Hitting it long off the tee, and length does help at Riviera. I'm going to fade this. He's a risky play, regardless of how you're playing him, DFS, whatever. He's a risky play because his ball striking is really, it's all over the place. One hole, it's fantastic. The next hole, it's like he's got to get up and down from the parking lot to stay par. So it's risky. I'm still going to fade this. I think Phil does enough to at least make the cut.
How risky is he of a play here, Reid?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at this tournament, I think he's made the cut here in those last 7 appearances. Dating back to 2010, there was a stretch in between where he took, I believe, a few years off from coming to Riviera. But, I mean, if you just look over his last 5 or 6 tournaments, he's getting an average of around 5 to 6 strokes tee to green. And he has yet in those tournaments to lose strokes putting. And so a guy like Phil, we know how good he is around the greens. We know that if he gets that driver ready, if he's what we saw last week too from Phil was that he just wasn't playing the wind very well. He was taking the wrong clubs. He was taking 1 club less. And so he got in those situations where he had to get up and down. I think he takes a look at that and he says, okay, well, I have to be a lot smart in course management, especially at a tournament like this where the field is so strong. To miss the cut, though, he just hasn't done it. So I'm going to fade that he's going to miss the cut here because for the last 7 times he's made it. And he seems to play well at a course which is similar, right, to the setup a little bit as Augusta, where, like Geoff mentioned, lefties do well at Augusta. They do well here. There's some corollaries there, and so I'm going to fade it.
Reid, before you take off, it's Make It Rain time. Your DFS pick to make it rain cash at the Genesis Invitational.
I know both of you schmucks think I'm going to choose Tony Finau,
Yep.
but I'm not.
Coward.
I am not. Coward. I'm going to choose Patrick Cantlay. I really like Patrick Cantlay coming into this tournament. The form is there. Again, he's a guy who doesn't strike us as a long hitter off the tee, but he can hit the ball far. He just doesn't have any. He hasn't missed a cut in so many different tournaments. He's consistent, so give me Cantlay.
Geoff, what do you think, man? Go ahead. You want to take Tony Finau for Reid?
Louis Oosthuizen, who's not even in the tournament.
God.
Huge coward. I'm going to go with Jordan Spieth. I'm going to be on a bit of a limb this week. 8,400. Hey, look, I picked A last week. He worked out pretty good.
That's
He was
true.
top 5.
Yeah,
I'm going to go the same
you got
idea with
lucky.
Spieth. 8,400. He's got a better record than people realize at this week's venues. Absolutely lights out ball striking in his last 2 rounds at Pebble Beach. So 8,400, I think he's too cheap. I think he's really going to pay off in DFS.